Good morning, comic friends. I'm Travis, and this is an Oddfellows special at this point. I am waiting for my car to defrost. It is a balmy 36 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Waiting for my windshield to unfog here so I can get off to going on my trip to meet up with Sleepy Beater 666, Damien. We're going to meet up in Pendelton, Oregon. Google that if you want to. I'm not sure there's a whole lot there. I know in my youth it was famous for making Pendleton wool blankets, kind of an Indian craft, I believe. But yeah, I'll be traveling from my part of the state. I live in the very, very eastern end of the state of Washington, and I will be traveling halfway through to Oregon to meet up with Damien. Should be a lot of fun. Hopefully the sun is going to come out and it's going to be a beautiful day, because we're hoping to do some filming and it's going to be outside, and we'll see just how cold it is. Anyway, I may turn the camera on as we travel along and chat if I get really bored on this drive, because it's a 3-hour drive to get there, basically. So we'll see what happens, how lost I get. Anyway, check back in a little bit. So, it's hunting season. Deer, white-tailed mule deer, and the area I'm driving through is partial agriculture and partial high desert scrub. Lots of deer around. Well, not right this second, but anyway, first obstacle I'm running into is because it's basically I don't know if this is opening weekend or this is the second weekend. Anyway, I'm driving about 15 miles under the speed limit because I'm in front of, I'm behind actually, 2 hunters, Taylor hunters, and they're driving really slow because they're trying to watch the hillsides as opposed to just driving down the road. Nothing like a good old road hunter on a highway. Good fun. Alright, I don't know how much of that you can see out there, out my window. Agriculture down low here and then the hills. This is my part of the state of Washington. Most people think Washington, they think Seattle and rain and stuff like that. Not where I live at, actually. It's, like I said, it's awfully close to high desert. Where I actually live at, we get about 13 inches of rain annually, which is just above what's officially considered a desert. Sagebrush and scrub and stuff like that is the natural terrain for a lot of the area that I'm in right now. But that's all. I just want somebody to talk to. Anyway, see you at some point again. Hey, I'm in the big town of Dayton, Washington. I didn't get the camera turned on in time. I don't know how much you can see with the sun shining in, but I'm driving right through downtown, and there were 20 turkeys walking right down Main Street. Wild turkeys. They've kind of taken over the town of Dayton. They beat up dogs and cats and whatever else gets in their way. A whole bunch of turkeys. Kind of funny. It's a ski town this time of the year. Not a lot going on. Give it another month and there'll be lots of snow here, and then yeah, skiing. Used to come up here as a kid, way back in the day. But anyway, adventures, driving, talk comic books. You guys forgot to mention Dayton. Talking about skiing, and just a while ago I was talking about high desert and whatnot. Yeah, it's kind of a mix right through here, trees and whatnot. We're moving into the Blue Mountains. Kind of an offshoot of the Rockies, I guess. Anyway, just thought I should add that. So I didn't like I was, you know, we were skiing on flat land. Anyway, talk to you later. So, yeah, I was talking about hunters hunting around the area and whatnot. Well, hunter just got a deer, hit it with his truck. Yeah, not real pretty. Anyway, I got a lot of stories I can tell you about this road I'm driving on. For, I don't know, 6 to 9 months, I drove this road every weekend. I temporarily had a job in another town we're coming up to, and almost had a permanent job there. Glad I didn't take that job. I would have been living out in this country. I mean, literally someplace probably where, because I wasn't going to live in the city where my job was at, because I don't really care for the city that much. But a job was going to be in, for a lot of reasons. But at any rate, I would end up living out here in the country. So whereas, you know, I keep talking about how I live, you know, over an hour and a half drive to the nearest comic book store. If I lived out here, I'd be a little closer to one of the comic book stores that I think is closed down. I don't think it's around anymore. But I would live in some place probably so small it doesn't even have a grocery store. Yeah, welcome to the West. So, at any rate, yeah, good stuff. I'm sure I'll have something to say later on. Just kind of bored, so I'm talking as I'm driving. See ya. Rolling into the big town of Walla Walla, Washington. Famous for Walla Walla sweet onions and the state penitentiary. I have, this is the place I worked at for 6 to 9 months. I like to call it doing time, but I don't like to refer to it as doing time when people hear there's a state prison here, because, well, I didn't do time in prison. But used to drive here, and I'd be here every week, stay the week here, and then on the weekends I would go home, be with my family, and then turn around and come back for the week. At the time, it was before the economic downturn, and downtown Walla Walla was just full of wine tasting places. Like every third building was a wine tasting place. That's changed since then. There's not near as much stuff like that here as what there was. There's lots of little tiny wineries all over the place. So instead of having like lots of micro brewing here, it's lots of micro wine making. So this is where I have to go off the main highway somewhere and then jump onto another one. So we'll see if I can make it through Walla Walla and not get lost going the direction that I need to go next. Because I'm not 100% sure where my turnoff is at. And I neglected to look at those directions very well. So it'll be interesting. Here, I'm gonna turn this off so I can concentrate on where I'm going. Okay, I just rolled into Oregon. For whatever that's worth. Didn't get lost, so that's a good thing. Now we'll see what happens when I get into Pendelton, because I've driven through Pendelton, stopped in Pendelton, but not, I mean, it's probably been 30 years since I've actually really been in Pendelton, so that should be an adventure too. Haven't seen any comic shops as I'm driving along, always looking for that, but or antique stores that maybe sell comic books. Catch those on the way home, maybe. Haven't really seen any though. Yeah. See you later. How many places in the country you can go, and on the radio, just one of the random channels, you can hear Native American music. I know you listen to the powwow and whatnot. It's great drumming. Pretty interesting. Of course, 3 clicks over on the radio station is mariachi bands playing like crazy, and a few more clicks over from that is country music, but little bit different. Pendelton, and I've found Damien. I'm now following him. We're gonna see if we can find some place where we can walk around a bit and stretch our legs after driving for as long as we have. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Beautiful day outside, so that's a good sign. Taking a tight corner here. All right, well, I'm gonna go so I can keep up with Damien.